Okay, hi, this is Ethan Leeds, holistic health coach with my colleague and friend Sarah Spencer. And we're making a short video. I say short, it might not be that short, but we're making a video because Sarah was telling me that she gets a lot of questions from people who've just become customers and they've just ordered Soul or Core or both of them. And there's certain things that they all seem to be asking. And we thought it'd be a great idea to make a video and answer some of those questions. So Sarah, I'm just going to hand over to you and ask you, like, what kind of questions are you being asked? We'll just give me one and let's see if we can one at a time.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks. This is a great idea. So, yeah. So one of the first questions I get asked is, how much should I drink? You know.
Okay, right. I get that same question all the time, and it really is a rather how long is a piece of string question, because it very much depends on why they're taking the product. If you're a healthy person and you're thinking preventatively and you just want to add a truckload of good nutrition into your everyday life because maybe you know that you're not eating the perfect diet, which is most of us, okay, and maybe you would like to get the equivalent nutrition of 20 servings of organic fruit and veg into your diet just to boost what you're doing, then one packet a day is fine. Okay, so one packet a day, you could be doing one packet of Soul and one packet of Core, or you might choose one or other of them and just do that depending on your particular needs. Now, if you've got a chronic disease that's, say, a serious disease like cancer or fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, etc., okay, if you've got one of those, then although one packet a day sometimes is enough, okay, usually with chronic diseases, most people need more to really see a difference. And I like people, at least in the open months, to be on 2 or 3 packets a day. And you know, if money's not a major object, you can even go higher than that. Basically, the higher the dose, the more effect that you're going to have. However, you might not want to jump straight in on 4 packets a day. You might want to build up. Depending on your sensitivity, some people need to build up. Some people can jump in, but it can be a good idea just to build up with 1 or 2 packets to start with, and then when your body's got used to that, increase it 3 and 4 packets.
Okay, that's really great to know that. Thank you, as I wasn't sure how to answer that question when I get asked. The other question I get asked a lot is there a time of day that I should take it? Okay,
again, it depends on the person. I can give general rules, okay, but not everyone works the same. So in general, if you're taking Soul, let's say you're taking just 1 packet a day of Soul, then the best time for most people is first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, say half an hour before you have breakfast. That gives when you've got an empty stomach, it allows your body to focus on just what you've put in, this super concentrated nutrition, and get the maximum out of it. Okay, now that isn't to say you can't have it just before or just after food, you can, but the perfect for Soul is on an empty stomach. Okay, now if you're taking 2 packets or 3 packets a day, you can have your first one on an empty stomach and then maybe have a second one midday and a third one in the evening or something like that. Now, one of the possible problems, everyone's affected differently. So Soul, for example, and Core, in fact, can both give some people energy. So if it's giving you energy, then it's probably not going to be a good idea for you to take it in the evening, shortly before bed, certainly, because you might find it gives you problems getting to sleep. Okay, so in some ways, it's a bit of experimentation. And the other thing that complicates it further is some people will change how their body reacts to it. So it might give them energy for a month and then stop giving them energy in a noticeable way. So it might be that they can't have it in the evening for month 1, but month 2 they can. So it's very much, you have to, you know your own body. It's a little bit like coffee, right? Some people drink coffee, they're all jittery and like that. Some people not, right? So you can't give a rule that applies to everybody. You have to give generalities because everyone is slightly different.
Okay, that really makes sense. Actually.
Now, Core, by the way, Core ideally is taken in the evening. Ideally, for most people, but again, it might not be right for you. So again, you have to start off taking the general advice, and then if that's not working for you, then you can switch it around and try different things.
Okay. Well, you mentioned it, taking it on an empty tummy. If we are able to take it on an empty tummy at the beginning of the day, is there any length of time that we should wait then before we have a cup of coffee or a tea or our breakfast or something?
Ideally, 30 minutes or so. But listen, that's a perfect world. You don't.
Yeah.
What I don't want is people to think I'm going to have a coffee, so I'm not going to have my soul because otherwise, it might not be perfect, and then you don't have it at all. It's much more perfect to have it than not have it. All right.
Okay.
So don't get too bogged down into I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to have tea, I'm going to eat or whatever. Don't get too bogged down. You can have it pretty much any time, but the perfect is on an empty stomach without having a really hot drink just after, because there are live enzymes in it. So some of those enzymes could be damaged by the heat. So that would be why it'd be better than to not have a hot drink just after you've taken your soul.
Okay, that's great to know. Are there any times that it would be better to take it with food?
Yes. Some people might have, get nauseous if they take it on an empty stomach, especially if they've got digestive issues. And if you're one of those people, for you, it might be better to take it with food. So that, as I say, that's why there's no absolute hard and fast rules. It really is only general rules that can be given, and then you have to play and experiment for yourself.
Okay. I did have a customer who her first response, and she came back to me, was that she'd got her tummy bloated and tummy cramps. So what would you advise for that?
Okay, so soul is usually the one. If that happens, it's usually soul. Usually, it doesn't happen a lot, as you know, but it can happen. And the reason typically it will happen is because that person has got some digestive issues, typically candida, and soul in particular, although core as well to a lesser degree, but soul in particular will fight the candida. And so there's a battle going on in the stomach as the candida is being attacked. And as such, that's where it might be better to take with food rather than on an empty stomach, because it's not quite as potent with the food. So, slightly less interaction with the candida and so on. So yeah, you can. So let's actually talk about detox and unpleasant symptoms, because you can have that from any natural product or from any food. Actually, you can eat cabbage, and some people can have a reaction. A fermented cabbage, which is really healthy, and have a reaction. Some people can, because a lot of people, when they take products like soul, it's because they've got health issues going on a lot of the time. And when they've got health issues going on, what soul's going to do is rebalance the body. And that rebalancing can do lots of different things. It can cause some people to feel great. It can bring mental clarity, energy, all kinds of positive things. But it equally can go the other way, right? You can get nausea, let's say, if it's fighting candida, or you can get any of the normal detox symptoms, because one of the things that they're going to do, soul and core, for example, they're gonna improve the way that the blood works. If you've seen, I know you've seen, but if the people who are watching have seen the videos of what soul does for the blood in a very rapid space of time, it basically improves the ability of the blood to carry oxygen, to carry nutrients, and also to remove toxins from cells. So if your blood is now removing toxins from cells, okay, then you have the potential to feel that. Okay, if your toxic pathways are not properly open, that is, your bowel movement's not good, you're not properly hydrated, for example, either of those things are the primary ones. But and even if those are good, if you're very toxic, you might feel the consequences of those toxins being released prior to them exiting your body. And that can be like flu-like symptoms. It can be, any of the normal detox symptoms like headaches and so on, nausea, etc. So if that's the case, there's a couple of things you need to do. The first one is you need to make sure that your toxic pathways are open. That is, that you've got good bowel movement, that you're plenty hydrated, you're drinking plenty of water. If they're still getting detox symptoms that are uncomfortable to live with, I mean, mild detox symptoms not a problem, but if it's too much, it's making you like really crabby and maybe not have a good day, maybe you can't function properly because you're feeling so lazy, that's not good. We don't want that. So what you need to do in that case is cut your dose. Even stop altogether for a while, let your body catch up. and then come back slowly. Now, it actually means it's doing good work. It's really good news if you are feeling bad like that. It's good news, but because it means the product's working. But you don't want to have it so much that it's, as I say, it's ruining your day. Okay. So you cut back, and you improve your toxic exit pathways.
And can those detox symptoms, can they happen on soul and core?
Yeah, they can. Any natural product, any good food, even water. You know, even if someone's dehydrated and they drink enough water, even that can cause detox. Okay, so if you're toxic, yeah, you know, you can get detox so many different ways. But a product like Soul or Core is more likely to cause it because it's so effective at removing toxins from the body. So the more effective a product is at helping the body to release toxins, the more likely you are to feel detox. And a little detox is fine, but if it's too much, that's not good. It's not healthy. You have to cut back or improve your toxic pathways.
Okay, that's fantastic. Some of my customers have also been asking about applying it topically. Have you got any information you can help with that?
So again, Soul particularly is awesome applied topically. So I apply it topically and recommend it anywhere where you've got regional inflammation or pain. Okay, chronic pain is caused by inflammation. So if you've got chronic pain, you've got chronic inflammation. So applying it topically. So what I would do is drink about 90% of the packet, and then the last 10%. Actually, I do the first 10% because the first 10% has less of the seed in it, the seed husk, and I prefer to put less seed onto my skin because it's not really much use unless you're using it for exfoliation. So I prefer to do the first part for my topical application. I think most people tend to do the last part. But anyway, so yeah, you can put it topically and it goes directly through the skin transdermally into the blood within 30 seconds. I've seen people, depending on the pain, depending on what it is and so on, I've seen people get pain relief in as little as 2 minutes. It's awesome for removing pain. Now, it doesn't work like that for everybody, and it depends on lots of different things, but regularly it does. So yeah, topical application is much more effective than just oral if you've got regional chronic inflammation.
Okay, that's led me very beautifully onto my next question, which is why do some people get results and some don't? And what can I advise to those that are not feeling it?
Okay, so very good question. So first of all, most people judge results on what they feel. And that's not a very effective way of judging results. It's great when we feel stuff, but let me give some examples. So anybody that's had, let's say, cancer, before diagnosis, they will have had cancer often for years. And then eventually they start getting symptomatic and they go to the hospital or whatever, and then they get a diagnosis. But the fact is that they've had cancer for years without feeling it. Right, so there they were, really sick. I mean, I've even quite regularly heard people say, I'm really healthy, but I've got cancer. And what they mean by that is they feel fine, but they've got this symptom called cancer. Well, they're not really healthy. They feel healthy, but they're not. And the cancer's kind of a big clue of that. Okay, so now that works both ways. Both we have things that are really bad that we're not feeling. So like if I said to somebody, you know, what's your cholesterol? Most people, unless they've had a check, they're not going to have a clue because they can't feel it, right? And the same with blood pressure to a point, unless it gets ridiculously high. You know, your blood pressure can go up and you don't notice it, you don't feel it. You know, we get people that everyone thinks are healthy, footballers, young guys out on the pitch, drop dead. You know, wow, what the heck? He's really healthy, like super fit. No, he wasn't. He felt it. Everyone thought he was. So the point is, what we feel is not a good barometer of actually what's happening in our body. So I'll give another example. So Soul, when people take Soul, so I work with quite a few doctors, and one of the doctors I work with does microscopies, which is where they take the blood, they look at the blood, and looking at the blood, you can see all kinds of things that you otherwise wouldn't know. And a lot of the time, especially if somebody's sick, then their blood is a mess. And so one of the things that happens is the red blood cells, which are supposed to carry the oxygen, the nutrition, and so on, they're stacked. They're all sticking together. They're not free-flowing. They're not the correct shape. They're a mess. And so what this doctor does is she'll look at the blood, and then she'll give them Sol. And literally 30 minutes later, the blood is all clear, they're back to the correct shape, they're flowing properly, they're carrying the oxygen as they should, they're carrying the nutrients as they should, etc. So here's something where we can look and see definite, clear results if we've got the equipment to do so. But most of the time, the people who've had that test mostly don't feel it. Now, some of them do feel it. Right, some of them can feel when, some people are very sensitive to what's going on in their body. Some people, they go and eat at McDonald's and they feel rough. Right, but most of us, if we eat at McDonald's, we don't feel the bad effects of it on our body. It'd be great if we did. It'd be great if every time we ate some bad food, we felt horrible. It'd be great. Right, every time we ate some good food, we felt great. It would be wonderful, but our feelings don't do that, unfortunately. So it's a long way of saying that our feelings are not a great barometer. It's lovely when we feel the great results. It's lovely when we get the extra energy, the mental clarity, and so on. Now, the one thing that we would want to feel, if we're taking Sol because we've got a pain, let's say, some symptom of some sort, we've got eczema, we've got fibromyalgia, then where we do want to see and feel some results is in clearing of those symptoms. Okay, so if we're taking it for pain, we want to see pain disappearing. And in that case, it depends on the person as to how quickly and what dose. So people need to be a little bit patient because what they tend to do is lots of people get very quick results. Sometimes, as I've already mentioned, as little as 2 minutes. But not everybody's like that. Some people takes longer. So it's a food at the end of the day. It's a super concentrated food, but it's a food, and it can take some months. And if you've got some serious chronic disease, let's go back to fibromyalgia. I've seen people with fibromyalgia having massive relief inside of a week, right? But some people, it takes 6 months. So it all depends on the person and a lot of other things that are going on in their body. So you do have to give it some time before, it's not a miracle. Well, sometimes for some people it is a miracle, but it's not a miracle juice that just does everything in minutes. You've got to give it some time, and also you've got to get the right dose. Because dose is critical. So, for example, talking about dose. So, when you go to the dentist, and if you have to have a tooth, some serious work on it, he's going to give you an injection of anaesthetic, right? And that dose that he's got, this is a drug, not a food, so it's much more precise. So that dose is designed to be enough to numb you so that you can do that work. What most people don't know is that doesn't work for everybody. So I need 4 times the dose before it works on me. Okay, so if a dentist gives me the dose, I'm not numb. That's with a pharmaceutical drug that's measured out precisely and what have you. And me, personally, it doesn't work without a much higher dose. So I see regularly the same with Sol, same with Core, where people, it's sometimes just about the dose. You have to sometimes get the dose. And one of the reasons for that is because, first of all, size of the person. The bigger you are, the more you tend to need. So men, as a general rule, being bigger, tend to need higher doses than women. That's one thing. A second thing is, how sick are you? Because the more it's got to do, the harder it is for you to feel anything. The third is, what's your digestion like? Because you and I could eat an apple, and you might absorb 80% of the nutrients in that apple, and I might absorb 30%. Because my digestion is buggered up, right? My digestion is not working effectively. Not only am I getting a lot less than you, but I'm bigger than you, so I need more. So we're not getting the same effect from the same apple. Okay, so for a variety of reasons, people need different amounts, and also that can change. Like my digestive ability might improve, so now I might need 3 apples compared to your 1, right? But in 6 months, I might be able to have just 2, or even 1, and be able to get the same from you. So my own body can change depending on my own health status. But there's other reasons. For example, let's take vitamin D. Everyone knows that we need vitamin D, right? It's something that supports our immune and so Okay, so some people are deficient in vitamin D and they go and they take supplements. And when they go and get tested and they find, whoa, I'm still deficient, what's going on? And you and I could both be deficient. We could both have the exact same level of low vitamin D. We could both take a supplement with the same amount. And you might be back to the correct levels and I might still be deficient. Why? What's going on? What's going on is maybe, for example, I'm magnesium deficient. You're not. Now, if I'm magnesium deficient, I can't utilize, my body can't utilize that vitamin D. Right? It needs magnesium to use the D. So it doesn't matter how much D I'm taking. I could take 20,000 times more than you. I'm still going to be deficient. Even worse, actually, because the more I take, the more it uses my magnesium, my low magnesium. So I'm not going to get the same effect as you because of all the nutrients that I'm missing, and they all work in a team. So hence, you could take Sol and I could take Sol. We could both have rheumatoid arthritis, and you could get a great result, and I might not. And it might be because your body's using the Sol better because you are okay in some other areas that I'm weak in. So I would need to work on those areas before I'd be able to maximize my ability to use what's in Sol. Does that all make sense?
It does make sense. So would you say then to somebody that's not getting the results that they were hoping for their condition, that the thing would be to try more Sol to begin with if they're only on one packet a day?
Well, the first most likely reason is dose, right? So increasing dose is often an answer. The second reason is they might be just going by feelings, and it might be working, right? It might be all kinds of stuff in their body, they just don't feel it. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is they might have some other issues going on, for example, digestion or something that needs fixing. And the fourth thing is they might have some problems that they're taking Sol for that Sol doesn't help. Sol doesn't do everything. So if they've got, I don't know, well, and I'm not even going to say anything because Sol does do a heck of a lot. But if they've got something, it might be that they need more than Sol. Sol is only half of the picture. They also need, let's say, magnesium. And when they're doing the two together, then they're going to get the effect. So if they drop the Sol and just do magnesium, they might still not get the help because magnesium's only half the picture. They need the two. Right, so it's about, and that's where they might want to talk to a holistic health coach like myself, so that we can work through and look at what may or may not be going on in a specific situation.
Fantastic. I think that's answered pretty much all of the questions that I keep getting, especially from new customers. That's really, really helpful. Thank you very much.
Let's just before we go, let me just show what Sol looks like. That's Sol.
Okay. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
That's core.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna show how you take it, because these are new customers that might not know. So the first thing that you do, you have a packet like so, and you give it a shake. Now, the Sol is the seed oils, okay, and D-ribose, but this also includes the husk of the seeds, because there's a lot of goodness in that, which we can't take advantage of in the full form, but when it's broken down into a flour, as this is, then our body can use it. So we want to get that dispersed through the liquid by shaking it. So once we've shook it, we rip it like that, or you can use scissors, which is even better, and literally and it tastes really good. So
I love the taste of it too.
Yeah, it's called cord is obviously all the greens. It's got things like aloe vera, spirulina, wheatgrass, chlorophyll, chlorophyllin, dandelion. So it's really good stuff in corn, and corn's there for the digestion, but it doesn't taste great like Sol. So
I'm actually going to disagree with you. I actually love the taste of Sol, and here's my packet that I drank just before our call. I'm sorry, I should have saved it for the call. So,
okay, now there are some weirdos.
So now, can I just ask a question? Or maybe I can share the tips I've learned, because some people do find the taste of core a little bit more challenging. I happen to be a bit odd. I absolutely love the taste of core, and I can drink it anytime straight out of the packet. And you mentioned that drinking at night is really useful. I do drink it at night.
Right.
to help my digestive system, but I also quite often drink it during the day. So I've just had it during the day today, because I love the taste, I love the energy I feel as soon as I've drunk it, and to me it tastes zingy and lemony and a tiny bit spicy. But if anyone finds it challenging, the tips I've learnt is to maybe mix it with a glass of water, or if you drink juice, cranberry juice or pineapple juice. Have you got any other tips for drinking core if someone's finding it challenging?
Okay, so I'm someone that doesn't like core.
You like peas?
However, what I found with core is when I first had it, I hated it. That said, it's not as bad as spirulina and wheatgrass and all of those things. If you've ever had those, it's not as bad as those. Those are really,
I can't drink those on their own.
Horrible. But so it's better than that. But when I first had it, I hated it. But I have got used to it now. I drink it straight out of the packet as well. I mean, it's not much liquid. I mean, I can't understand why people would have that much of a problem. It's not that bad.
1 fluid ounce. That's it. It's a tiny.
1 fluid ounce, which is Sol is 2 fluid ounces. So there are some people who mix Sol and core. They say that helps. I personally don't want to ruin my Sol. But you can do that. But yeah, you can add it. You can add it to anything. You can add it into lots of things if it's that big an issue. But honestly, it's not that bad. It's not so bad as it needs that. And one other tip. So I've just drunk my Sol, and then what I then do, because there's always some left over, is I take some scissors and I cut it like this. I don't know how well I'm doing on keeping it on video, but if you then open it and hopefully there's not enough to spill on me. Oh, I've done pretty good, but there's a little bit left right there. Okay, so I've actually got a lady who gets it for her husband, and I just lick it out. I don't know whether I should be doing it
on camera. No, but don't waste any of it. I use it topically. I open my packet and I put it on my either my face or I've got a painful hip. I put it on my hip. And
right. A lot of ladies use core, especially on the face. Well, Sol or core on the face is a face pack, and they tell me it gives great results.
So that's answered another great question. I was going to ask: can core be used topically as well as Sol?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. I've got less experience with core topically. I've talked a lot less about core in this video, and partly because Sol was around a long time before core, and I've got a lot of depth of experience with Sol. Core is the newer kid on the block, especially in the UK. And so I've got less on it, but I'm getting great results with core as well. It's wonderful for the digestion, the liver, the kidneys, the small and large intestines, and it works beautifully in conjunction with Sol. So I take both of them, obviously, and they can be used in very similar ways. Very similar, yeah. As I was just saying, anyway, I've got a lady that's got a very sick husband, so she gets, I think it's just Sol. And she gives it him, and then she cuts the packet, opens it, and she licks the packet. And that's all she does. And she was telling me she has had results from just licking the packet on her own health. It blew me away. I mean, there's not a lot, but that tells me how worth it is opening that packet and licking it. Okay, sure. So she's of all the people, she's the person that I know that's had the least amount of it and managed to get a really good result on her own health, reducing pain. And I can't remember what she was telling me that it did now, but it was definitely helping her health just from licking the packet. I do wonder if she's not squeezing much out for her husband though. Maybe she's leaving a bit more, I don't know.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ethan. I can't think of any other questions right now. I think that's answered so many of the most common questions that I get asked. I'm sure this will be helpful for lots of other people who may be just starting trying. Awesome.
Okay, well, it's been fun, and hopefully we've covered all the major questions. If anyone has questions that they feel weren't addressed, that need to be addressed, then get back to me or Sarah or whoever you've got your product from, and hopefully they'll be able to help you. And thank you very much for listening, and I hope you get great results that you feel. Hopefully, let's hope you feel them. Great results that you feel. Thanks very much. Bye bye, everybody.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks.